Good evening, everyone. Welcome back once again to Vicious Rants. And of course, I am your host, your YouTube messiah and often imitated, never duplicated superstar Tim Vicious. And we are talking about Raw this week was in Denver, Colorado. And, well, thankfully, no news broken that day because they were in Colorado and nobody was a little friendly doing some puff puff pass pass. So no big news to really report, nothing big or fancy, you know, other than aside from something that was very much so obvious, you know, that Mia Yim has now officially signed with WWE, but, you know, in all honesty, you know, once they announced she was going to be in this year's Mae Young Classic again, everyone just kind of looked and was like, there, she's going to get signed. She's going to be this year's Cedric Alexander breakout story. You know, and I say that, and I'm not saying that in an insultive way. I'm saying that in a way, Cedric had such a breakout match with Kota Ibushi at the Cruiserweight tournament that literally people were chanting, "Hire Cedric." And as he's walking to the entryway, saying, you know, all beat up, hurt, "Thank you. Thank you." You see Hunter come out, wave them and say, all right, and then grab him and say, "Hey, come on, kid, let's go into the back and talk." So you just obviously knew she was going to get signed. So, and you know, Mia, loads of talent, hell of an athlete, and I'm not saying this in an inappropriate way, so before somebody goes and starts twisting it, it's not meant in that way. She's got a killer figure, you know, she's built like a monster, and she's built, she's jacked, not only that, she's got that hell of a story. She's got a hell of a story on her, you know, and I'm not saying to use it in a good or a negative way. I'm just saying, however she chooses to do it is on her. I'm not going to say anything more than that. Now, with that said, let's get on to the show. Raw, Denver, Colorado. It starts off with a limousine pulling up. Baron Corbin runs and tumbles to the door. Opens up the door, and then out comes the MILF in charge, Mrs. Stephanie McMahon, celebrating her birthday, by the way. And thankfully, I wasn't escorted out of the building when I tried to present her my gift. Well, I'm not going to say what it was, but it was in a box. I hope you know the rest. Anyways, then out came the God King, Triple H, and Corbin, you know, looking like that very nervous manager trying to impress the upper management that's coming in for the quarterly inspections. And like, you know, I'll leave you to this. I got other stuff to take care of. Goes and leaves. And then she gets on Corbin's ass talking about on how, you know, it's obvious. Now, they have a few mistakes, that's to be expected. But what you've been doing has just been systematically messing up since you got on here. Now, I'm starting to think maybe Kurt's little vacation should end a lot sooner than it needs to. You can't handle the Shield, well, then you can't handle this show. You want to take initiative? How about this? Instead of putting yourself in a title match, go and put yourself Shield against you and 2 other people. So we'll get that. We'll get to that match later in the night. Next thing you know, after that segment, then out come the boys. The Shield come out through the crowd. Liked on how the fact that right before they jumped the barricade, they went over to the one kid. He was a handicapped kid in a wheelchair. They all went over, fist bumped them, and you know, and honestly, that's what it's all about at the end. At the end of the day, appeasing, you know, getting to the fans, going to the kids, and making them, you know, see these larger than life characters and actually loving it. You know, much like in the same way me and all of you crazy ass motherfuckers do. Now, they cut a promo. They talk about on how they are the workhorses of the company. And keep in mind, I'm paraphrasing. They're the workhorses of the company. They're here to stay. They're going to kick ass, take names, and all that jazz. Probably the one part that, and if I was going to split hairs, probably the one part that I would pick at was when Roman was saying, now if you want proof that we are the top dogs in this place, look no further than right here. And then they all held up, and then Roman held up his title, Seth held his title, and then Dean just kind of stood back as like, kind of like putting that enforcer look on, like, which I feel kind of bad for that in that sense, you know. Not like he could put the women's title on him, and ain't no way he's gonna drop 100-something pounds to go and get that cruiserweight title, you know. Especially on how jacked he is now. He's a lot more thicker now than he was before he had that tricep injury. Now, either way, they're hyping up their trios match at the show in Australia, the Superstar Showdown, and then out come Braun, Ziggler, and Drew, and they make counter argument on how they're gonna kick their ass. And then Braun talks about on how at the Crown Jewel, guest starring Chase Owens. Oh wait, no. Sorry, I'm still thinking, you know, anytime you say the Crown Jewel, like, first thing I go to, sorry. But they're talking about on how at the show Crown Jewel at Saudi Arabia, Braun's going to beat Brock and Roman to get the Universal title. And yeah. And then they're hyping up, they're making counter arguments to the trios match that they got coming up in Australia. And then they say, we got a fourth man ready and waiting. Seth just looks at him. Oh, I don't know if you graduated 3rd grade or not, but your math's a little off. There's only 3 of you there. Oh no, it's not us. Oh, he's here. Ain't that right, Dean? And then they start talking about on how, you know, Dean doesn't have a title. Dean didn't get any of the spotlight. Dean did, you know, when Dean was injured, did any of them call or text or anything like that? You know, making real good valid arguments to their point. You know, and you just see Ambrose looking at them, having that pissed off look, and can't quite tell if he's spacing out and going off thinking about whatever, or if he's thinking about on how he really doesn't have to worry about a title, because at the end of the day, he gets to go home to Renee Young every night. And well, I don't know, between being world champion or getting to go home to Renee Young every night, I would fucking take Renee Young any day of the week, twice on Sunday. So yeah. Anyways, so that ended. Now we get our first match of the night. Finn Balor, Jinder Mahal. Reasoning for this match is because coming up with the Mixed Match Challenge, Balor and his partner Bayley are going to be going against Jinder and his partner Alicia Fox. Now Bayley and Alicia were both ringside for both of the guys. Now Jinder, he was leading at the beginning, and very much so your typical starter match for Raw, you know. Heel leading in the beginning, then they cut the break. Babyface winds up picking up the lead, leading right after the break. Match wound up coming to an end when Bayley started getting into it with Alicia, and then gave Samir a Bayley to belly on the outside. Jinder's yelling, arguing about what's going on out there, and then Finn, boom, does a quick roll up, 1, 2, 3, that's it. They win, get an post-match segment with Jinder freaking out on Samir, slapping him, throwing him around, looking like a drunken stepdad, slapping his kid around. Apologize for anyone. Please do not, if you're easily offended by these jokes, 1, feel free to hit the dislike button. 2, feel free to leave negative comments. And 3, please feel free to go fuck yourself with a rusty fork sideways, because If you're going to get offended by that joke, you definitely do not want to go into the archives. So, anyways, he starts slapping Samir around like a drunken stepdad that just lost his job. He then throws him in the ring, and just as he's about to get harder on him, next thing you know, Alicia's like, whoa! And then they start doing that Om Shanti Kumbaya stuff. So, yeah. Excuse me. Next up, we got women's trio action. Natty and the Bella Twins going against the Riott Squad, and this match just got a lot of negative feedback, and not for the reasons you would think, mind you. Well, probably for the reasons you think, but I'll get into that. The match itself, it just was like, until the infamous moment happened when, as Bree is in the ring, Liv Morgan's in her spot, and Bree's doing the Daniel Bryan kicks. Bree legitimately caught Liv Morgan, boom, right in the face, and you could see she drops down like a sack of potatoes, like she's like freaking dead to the world. She gets taken to the back, so it then turns into a 2-on-3 handicap. And I gotta say, I'm not gonna lie, after that happened, that's when like it started to shift into gears a little. The gear shifted, and the match actually went at a little bit of a quicker and better pace. The crowd seemed a little more awake after that, and it was pretty okay. But in regards to that, everyone is making... Here's my take on that. A lot of people were making harsh comments about her, saying, oh, she's horrible, she's a botcher, she's a risk to be in the ring with, this, that, and the other. Now, if you're going to argue about that, but you didn't say one thing about on how AJ Styles wasn't able to tuck and move in to protect Yoshitatsu with the Styles Clash, although he was able to do that with James Ellsworth. Think about it. You're contradicting yourself right there. Obviously, not many people really like the Bellas. I get that. I'm one of those people. But draw the line somewhere. Still, you show respect to the people that walk into that ring, whether you like them or not, because they're putting their life in someone else's hands for your entertainment. This ain't fucking ballet. I've done my fair share of matches where I had the shit kicked out of me. I had to get, for all intents and purposes, I shouldn't have done half the shit I did, but I did it anyway. Do I regret? No. But I did it because entertainment and for the people that watched. Just like they do. That was a messed up spot that happened. This ain't ballet. Sometimes people get hurt. Where was the uproar and where was the controversy saying Owen Hart was dangerous to work with? Owen Hart shouldn't wrestle anymore because of the shit that happened with Steve Austin. Where was the shit about that when, where was the shit about that when Neville twisted his ankle in a match with Chris Jericho? Hell, where's that shit now with the heir apparent rumors going on saying that Alexa Bliss got injured during her match with Ronda Rousey? If you're going to go and criticize one wrestler getting injured from it, then motherfucker, you better be ready to criticize every that get injured during a match. That's all it is to it. Anyways, now with that said, Matt, get back to the match at hand. Match came to an end. What was it? Sarah Logan was in the ring. Brie was working on her. Natty had Ruby did a blind tag. Natty didn't see it. Natalya wound up locking in a sharpshooter on Ruby Riott, or not Ruby, I'm sorry. I'm fucking worked up from that little rant a second ago. Natalya had a sharpshooter locked in on Sarah Logan, and then Ruby, bam, hit a super kick and then set her up. Riott kick, 1, 2, 3. That was it. So yeah, that's it. Now, no information has been said on anything as of the time of this recording in regards to what happened with Liv Morgan, whether she just got her lights knocked out or if she took a legit shot and she's concussed or nothing. So, not going to speculate, not going to create any rumors or any of that shit. Take any rumor you hear with a grain of salt on this until you hear it officially. That said, next matchup, Chad Gable going against Konnor of the Ascension, and I dug the hell out of this match. This really wowed me. I was really impressed with the way Konnor handled himself as a singles competitor. This had me starting to think like, is there any chance we could start making Konnor a solo act? You know, because this kid could go. This kid can go. I want to see on how far he can. You know, but decent match, you know. I like I said, I can't put over enough on how good I loved his ring work with it. Now, Gable, obviously, Chad Gable, you know, I mean, fucking love seeing when he goes and does those German suplexes. And that deadlift one he did on Konnor right out of nowhere was just beautiful. Now, match came to an end. Surprisingly, Konnor got the win by doing a gut wrench slam. Got the 1, 2, 3. That was it. So, next matchup, tag title match. Dolph Ziggler, Drew McIntyre defending their coveted Raw Tag Team Championships against the Revival. Match that these guys have been waiting for a while, but have yet to get it because they were all pushed to the side. Now they got their chance. And Revival, man, these guys, when they get a chance to actually work a match, man, they can work a damn match. I like this one. I like this match. Now, I have my fair share of criticism on it too, mind you, you know, and take the credit. Now, I'm not going to get all snarky internet fan rage. Oh, this is shit because of this, this, and this. You know, this should have done this better or that better. I'm just saying, on a personal level, they did the Doomsday Device. Now, on a personal level, the Road Warriors, Legion of Doom, LOD, favorite tag team of all time. Anytime I saw a Doomsday Device, my first thought was, oh, that's it, this is over now. They did the Doomsday Device and they got a kick out. If I was gonna argue on it, like in that kind of sense, I would say that would be my biggest pet peeve because honestly, I don't see the Doomsday Device being something that you should kick out of. Have it be something that you break a pin up from, but not a kick out. Now, that said, though, one thing that did kind of have me scratching my head was, you see, Dash Wilder, he was a little bit more aerial. He was getting pretty aerial tonight in this match, you know, I'm not going to lie. I mean, he did a sprint, you know, he did an over the top rope shoulder tackle. He did a freaking splash off the top rope. He even wound up using the security barricade to do a tornado DDT on McIntyre. You know? So it's just, I'm just thinking, are they, what's going on here? Because I thought their mantra was no flips, just fists, and they're going out there. Pretty sure Jim Cornette's looking at him like, God damn, what the hell's this motherfucking bullshit? You're supposed to be the fucking Revival, god damn it. You ain't supposed to do no motherfucking flips. You're supposed to just throw some goddamn punches. Them rotten cocksuckers. Motherfucker. There's my best Jim Cornette impression I could do at this short notice. If I had enough time to get my throat ready, I would have been able to do a better one. That said, though, all in all, really good tag match. Absolutely love this match. Now, match came to an end, though, with Eventually, McIntyre, he got in there, and then they hit the super kick Claymore combo on Wilder. Got the 1, 2, 3. That was it. So, unfortunately, the Revival do not get the titles today. That's not that I am still a believer in the fact of they're gonna. It's just a matter of when, not if. You know, much like anything else. Not everyone can be on top, not everyone can be champion, and not everyone can always have a A+ story or feud. You gotta work with what you got at the moment and try and fight your way to better. That's the best I can say. Now next matchup we got the smelly hipster Elias, and for all of you that are new to the reference on why he's the smelly hipster, it's simple. There's a guy who lives about 3 or 4 houses down from me. Dead on ringer for him, looks just like him, you know, he's got the same kind of build, douchey man bun, and, you know, unkept beard, unlike this beard, which is well kept. And just, you go past that guy, ugh, smells like he hasn't showered in a week. You know? So it's, anytime I see Elias, I just think, oh great, it's the smelly hipster again. But yeah. So yeah. Now, before the match came to be, we got treated to the Kevin Owens show with Elias playing the musical part for the show. You know, much like Dave Letterman had the piano guy and all that jazz. Now, they were bringing out, now Owens was talking about on how he's bringing out his guest tonight, the one and only hype man for Bobby Lashley. Give it up for Lio Rush! And then they bring out Lio. Lio comes out. My God. Folks, if you have not seen Lio Rush before, I encourage you. Either pause this video and open a new tab to look him up, or just wait until after this video is done and then look his ass up, because this kid is phenomenal. This kid, he's only like 24. He's only been in the business for about 3 or 4 years. He started out in MCW, Maryland Championship Wrestling, had a short-term contract with Ring of Honor, worked all around, you know, didn't win any titles at Ring of Honor, but he was at one point the Combat Zone champion, wound up having a great feud with Joey Janelle in Combat Zone, wound up having a Blackheart character there. It was just, oh, cannot put over enough on how good this kid is. And does not exaggerate with his name, Rush, because once this kid moves, you got to yell at him, slow down! But yeah, Leo, he comes out, he's talking about on how, you know, yeah, I may not be in this business for long, but I know well enough to not come on down there. So, nice try, guys. And I say, oh, it's okay, Leo, nothing's going to happen here. In fact, we got a special seat for you. Ready? And then they pull out a little booster seat, making jokes about, you know, him being short, you know, only being like maybe $1.60 soaking wet. So he laughs it off and then introduces Denver's own, his man, Bobby Lashley. Excuse me. Now Lashley, he comes out, gets a nice good hometown pop, and liked on how Lashley was leading at the start. Match wound up going on. Elias started working on Bobby's leg. It was pretty cool to see. And it was a fairly decent match. It was pretty good. Match wound up coming to an end though. At one point, Leo wound up trying to do something. Leo was up there trying to run his mouth, and then Owens was chasing after him. Or I believe that's on how that happened. But either way, there was a little bit of a flim-flam. And Owens and Leo had a little running around on the outside. Owens was chasing after Rush, and as he went past Owens, boom, checked into Lashley, knocked him down. Ref took it as him attacking him, called for a DQ, so Bobby Lashley won via disqualification. And then afterwards, they proceeded to go and try and beat Afterwards, Owens and Elias proceeded to go and try and beat up... Yeah, get my damn words right, I'm sorry. Proceeded to try and beat up Leo, and then Bobby wound up stopping her. Next up, we got another women's match. Nia Jax going against Alicia Fox. This... Well, okay, there wasn't really much reasoning for the match itself as opposed to reasoning why Nia was out there, and that was more so to hype up on how she's nominated for a People's Choice Award for Biggest Game Changer, I believe it is. I'm not 100% certain. But either way, you know, yep, match was what it was. Nia wound up doing the power game over Foxy. And yeah, match came to an end when Nia hit a Samoan drop on Alicia Fox, got the 1-2-3. That was it. Other than that, the only highlight for this match was at one point Amber Moon, who was out there with Nia, did a running cannonball off the apron on the Mickie James. Whew. So yeah, now we come up to our main event of the night. Shield going against Baron Corbin and his two mystery partners. And who could they be? Where could they be from? What could they be doing? And it's... Seriously, we still don't have enough money for a drum roll? What do we pay you guys for? What kind of producers are you? You can't even produce a drum roll? Sorry, folks. Anyways... Corbin introduces his partners. He talks about on how, you know, given on how the locker room beat up the Shield a couple weeks ago. Everyone was pounding at his door to try and get on air, but he only picked the best of the best. The two guys who have been dominating since they got on the Monday nights, the Authors of Pain, and then out come the Authors of Pain with Baron Corbin. And again, I give it to my boy Jose Scomageddon, you know. He hit this joke right on the nail. You know, you see Authors of Pain, Baron Corbin, all these big 6'6+, 300+ pound, big beefy guys, and then you got little Drake Maverick with them, and just cues the one line from The Simpsons. But Marge, you see that small guy? Just standing there, you know he's gonna do something awesome. Fucking sold it! Yes, that was the best line right there. Anyways, decent match, had a nice sizing up to start out. Ambrose, he was in there first, worked on Corbin, then brought in Seth. Seth was in, started working on Akam, and then Roman got in, worked on Razor. And then the match started to progress. Seth wound up pretty much being the team punching bag. You know, liked on how they were doing the little possibility of, is Dean going to leave? Is Dean going to split from them? Is he going to betray the Shield? Are we going to finally get that inevitable Dean Ambrose heel turn? Find out next week on Same Bad Time, Same Bad Channel. But... you know, probably the one part that actually built to that a lot was when Seth was reaching to go and do the hot tag. Ambrose was on the apron reaching out, and just as he's reaching out, I think it was Razor pulled him off the apron. But the way the camera was positioned, if you didn't see Razor doing it, you would have honestly thought he'd have just been like, "Fuck this." So it was cool because it could have gone either way, thinking, oh, well, no, look, see, he did that, or, oh my God. But, you know, then they switched to the ringside camera, and yeah, that's on how you pick that up. But yeah, match came to an end. Match wound up coming to an end. Eventually, Ambrose, he did get a hot tag, started cleaning up house, taking out everyone. And keep in mind, I'm fast forwarding to the end of the match. There was at one point where all 6 men were in the ring at once brawling, which was really cool. But match came to an end when, you know, Ambrose, he was the legal man. He wound up taking out Corbin, and then Seth came in, did a suicide dive to take out Akam. And then Razor got on the apron. Ambrose took him down. Ambrose took him off the apron, and then Seth did a suicide dive to take him out. And then Roman, and then he tagged in Roman, did a suicide dive to go and make sure Razor didn't come back in. And then he went over, boom, speared Corbin, 1, 2, 3. That was it. Now, during the entire time of this match, Strowman, Ziggler, and McIntyre were all sitting up at the entry ramp watching like, alright, come on, come on. And then after the match, you know, Seth and Roman are inside the ring celebrating, and Dean's on the outside still licking his wounds from the fight, like, And God bless, Corey Graves does a phenomenal job with commentary, you know, highlighting on how, you know, well, these two are in there celebrating. He's out there. What kind of brothers do that with each other? Things like that. Just the little things like that help tell the story so much better. And you know, and then you see Braun and his boys going like, "Come on, Dean," and just see Seth and Roman like, "The hell's this?" You know, and it was almost like seeing that couple argue over who gets the dog. Like, come here, boy. Come here. Come here. Come here. You know you want daddy. Come here. Come here. Come here. You know, like that. And then Dean, he's like, takes 2 steps to them. He's like, nah. And then crawls back into the ring. And then they all do the Shield fist bump thing. And then, so yeah. So that's on how they end the show. Showing that they're all still together in unity. Excuse me. So, that does it for this week's show, folks. So, like on normal, do not forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, go back, watch some of the other episodes. Make sure you look for me on my Twitter at Tim Vicious. Do also have another account if I get ghosted or if I get put in Twitter jail, Tim_Vicious. Also on that Facebook gimmick, Tim Ash. If you're going to look for me on there from here, let me know you found me. From there, from here, or from my Twitter at Tim Vicious. So I don't think you got your creep drawing going. Also, folks, do not forget to follow these cool ass cats right here on the Twitter. Axel Mulligan, Penny Killer, my good brother I Am Dating Sunday. Ollie is actually off the grid at the moment on as far as social media wise. But if you are interested in getting a shirt from, if you are interested in getting one of these Ollie Rewind shirts, let me know. I'll talk to Ollie myself for y'all. Also make sure you check out Ollie Ben's music. It's out there on iTunes, Spotify, and such. Details are down below. Cranky Grandpa and Dazzy MWP. And folks, like I always tell you, you love me great, you hate me. Fuck yous.